Yes. We are here once again. And today is a lovely Friday. Asasi Afi, as we call it. Both Ever, both Tree, and even Ga. And we are here once again with our cultural anthropologist, our divine priest, Ɔsɔfo Kofitse Ahadzi, our elder, the son of the land, of Africa, of Kemet, the divine soul who has dedicated his life so many years and so many decades going around the world, bringing information, oral traditions, and putting them into books. We are here once again due to popular request from the last few days. We talk about the Ka or the Kla. And today we are going to talk about Vodu or Voduda and its relations to Kemet. Some say Kemet, but it is Kɛmɛ. So, our divine priest, Ɔsɔfo, I love the white today. It reminds me of Ɔsɔfo Ameve of Africania Mission. You're welcome.
Thank you. And salutations to all your cherished viewers and listeners. We are going to dance round in the environment of Dan. And before we enter into that arena, we must find out who were our ancestors in the beginning of time. So I say, you are welcome to my humble abode.
It's a pleasure always for your humility giving me this opportunity. Okay, so many people hear of Vodu and they get scared. They make fun of it. If you go to America, our brothers and sisters, the African in America, or African Americans, as some say, they say Vodu, some say Hodu. You know, so many people make mockery out of it. And even our own people sometimes use it in their songs. You can't do me Vodu, this and that. You know? So, why are people afraid of the word Vodu? When you mention Vodu and everybody thinks it's demonic, what is Vodu?
Thank you very much for the opportunity to explain the origin of the word Vodu. It's a combination of two Ewe words. Vo, to free, and do, a settlement or a town. Vodu. There are those who would like us to believe that is a demonic thing. Like in the Christian Bible, they talk of not being a follower of Jesus Christ, so you are a pagan. And pagans are supposed to be Voodoo worshippers. But when they are saying that one, they know deep within themselves that what they are saying is not the correct thing. But in order to oppress, suppress, and exploit us, they present our belief system as demonic. And how did they achieve that one? they stole all our documentation and presented it as their own research findings. They are having come into contact with the creator of the universe. So anything which is contrary to what they have presented is regarded as paganistic or devilish. That is how we have come to reach here, that our mentality has been screwed up. We have been made to be strangers to our own selves. The philosophies initiated by our ancestors have been thrown overboard. And we have so-called intellectuals who present the wrong information about what and who we are. Okay?
Yes.
From the Southern Valley, we must realize that when the Greeks...
Is it the same as Siberia?
No, Southern.
Okay.
Southern is equally a combination of two heavy words. Sa, the divine, Dan, snake. So, in the Southern Valley, our ancestors named that river Southern because it meanders like a snake. But because it is the divine snake, we see in the geographical orientation of the white man, he tells us that our side of the world is the south, their side is the north. But our people say our side is the north and their side is the south. So you have the river flowing from their geographical south to their geographical north. But we know our river flows from our geographical north to their geographical south. A river must always flow from the highland to the lowland. Now they have turned it that our southern river is actually flowing from our geographical north to their geographical south. The river flows from the upland and goes to the lowland. And if that were so, and if they are on the geographical north, then our river should not flow that way. But once our river flows from our highlands to their lowlands, the river is flowing from our geographical north to their geographical south. And because it meanders, artistically, we have the name, the divine snake. Satan. Is that okay?
Yeah.
So we must realize that all that they have done is to distort the truth. And having distorted the truth, they have to create institutions to support their distortion. So they came up and called our belief system, which is a daily practice, devilish, paganist, and called theirs Christians. And we have, you can hear people shouting Allahu Akbar in the background. They were part of those who engaged in the distortion of our belief system. They equally claim that we didn't know the Creator. They are supposed to know the Creator. But the Creator, we are the first children of that creative energy. We manifest the truth. They don't. They have, in the land they call Israel today, they have something they call Kabbalah. Ka. We dealt with Ka the other time. We dealt with Ka. We dealt with Ba. And what is the Kabbalah? It's supposed to be the sacred writings of our ancestors which they have taken. And which they are claiming to be theirs. But it is ours. And we have evidence to establish that the land of Kɛmɛ, the sandy land, is the land of the black people.
So what is the meaning of Kɛmɛ?
Kɛmɛ, inside the sun, the sandy area.
Okay.
Now, when you want to establish who were there, you have to go back into your own history and find out who does the Sphinx of Giza, that human-headed lion. The lion, the body of a lion, and the head of a human. Whom does it represent? The head represents that of a black man. Because when they even came, they did acknowledge that to identify the black man, he has bulgy eyes, he has broad nose, he has thick lips, his ears are fan-like, and he is bulky in nature. But do they have? They don't have broad nose, thick lips, bulgy eyes, fan-like ears. They have the kinky hair. And the kinky hair was given to them because of the climatic conditions in the place. By the time the sun's rays will penetrate through your kinky hair, it is late in the afternoon. The weather has become cold. Now the heat must be getting out of your body. By the dawn, when the heat will have gotten completely out, you are entering into a new day when the sun is rising again. So you will have the hotness coming. So you will not have problems with your brain. You will look at them in their temperate climate and you will realize that no, they have problems with the manner of the heat which is generated by the sun. So Harry Belafonte tells you what? This is my island in the sun, given to me by my father's hands. Whose island is it in the sun? The island in the sun is the land of the black people. The sun keeps us going. We don't suffer from the ultraviolet rays of the sun because we have melanin in our bodies which protects us against the negative vibrations of the solar system. It is not so negative because it is part of the positive attributes that have been given to us. But they have made us to believe that it is negative. And they have created institutions for miseducating us. We have schools. Schools to ensure that we are perpetually miseducated. We believe in things which are not true. And they continue. And we also accept. We have doctors, professors, and what have you, who are supposed to have known better, but who don't know. That the story they have been taught is our own story. But they tell us it is his story. So we have to get back to our roots. Because if you have lost your spiritual root, then you have lost your cultural identity.
Right. So what is when you look at the pharaohs,
Yes.
how do you call the pharaoh in the Eva?
Efiao?
Efiao?
Yes.
Okay. It sounds even like that. Pharaoh,
Yes.
pharaoh. Okay. So when you look at them and you look at their headdress, sometimes you see the snake, the cobra, you know, the head. What does it signifies?
The cobra, where is it located? On the crown.
Yeah.
The highest point of knowledge.
Mm.
The location of the cobra is at the apex, or the location of the third eye, which makes you see what others do not see. Know what others do not know unless they learn it. So you always have the cobra positioned at the place we have the third eye. You can see through what others do not see. And that gives the advantage of the black rays. Then we are told to know ourselves. Where is the self? The self manifests on the third eye.
Mm.
So from the third eye, we will go to where? The solar plexus, the inner heart, not the physical heart that you go to a hospital, they can say you have a cardiac problem or something. But there is another heart, which is your spiritual heart, which is supposed to be the solar plexus.
Mm. Mm.
So we need to know ourselves. If we don't know ourselves like we are doing now, we can be dancing around, going to churches, going to malls, and we will never get our way clear. You will see the papyrus. You see how it opens up its arms to receive the rays of the sun. Why is it that we, who are inheritors of the truth, do not accept the truth? We do not accept the truth because institutions have been created which are supposed to be educating us, but which succeed in miseducating us. We have all the plans which we can use to heal ourselves, but we believe in something that somebody had brought. You might have realized that the ancient black people of the Kɛmɛ land had the surgical instruments. They developed the surgical instruments, which people have now taken over, claiming to be the inventors. But those were discovered and developed by our people. There is so much evidence to prove that one, that we developed the surgical instruments. The helicopter, the Hercules helicopter of today, the submarine, all these things were discovered and developed by our people.
The laptops.
The laptop, everything that you can imagine.
Pen drives.
All of them were developed by our people. Both in the past, in the present, and in the future. We will still hold on to our discoveries. They can claim they have done anything, but then, deep within them, they know that no, the things they are claiming are not theirs. They are ours. And they have invented all manner of dangerous principles to exterminate us. We have the Planned Parenthood Association. What do? They try to ensure that they eliminated the black race. Because if the black race is not eliminated, we will come back. We are bound to retake our position as the children of the Most High. Amen.
Amen.
Yes. What is the meaning of Amen? Amen simply means the unseen
light.
energy.
The hidden light.
The hidden light. But the light is here.
Mm-hmm.
And the problem we also face now is that we are looking for solutions to things which are very close to us, but we imagine them to be very far away. When we come down to the issue of the invention or production of flying items or the plane and all, they tell us that it was the Icarus brothers from Greece who waxed feathers to their arms. Right?
Mm-hmm.
About 100 and something years ago. Then we equally have the Wright brothers of the United States who equally claim the same thing.
Right, Wilbur Wright. Nonsense.
Then you come around to look at the symbol of the Ma'at, the mother who waxed feathers to the arms, as symbol of justice, truth, and fair play. The Ma'at was there before they came. The Greeks even entered into the Southern River Valley. If Ma'at, the mother of creation, had all this symbolism, how can you now turn around to claim that you were the one Who did it? Who invented the plane? The Abydos mystery stelae tells you that whatever you are talking about, Hercules helicopter, had been invented. And the Abydos mystery stelae contains descriptions, drawings of the submarine, of the armored personnel carrier, of the helicopter. So what is it that they are claiming to have invented? They have not invented anything. They have plagiarized what our ancestors did. So until we get back to ourselves to know what our ancestors left for us, you go in through the pyramids, you will see all that they did. But we still don't accept that one, because educational system has been created to make us believe that they did the things that our ancestors did. And we believe them. We believe them because they claim they have recorded their things. But our ancestors had recorded everything down. Our ancestors can define the route they are taking through the Afan divinational system. Our ancestors never got lost when they are going anywhere. Because when they put their Afan down, it tells them, go this way, go that way. And what is the meaning of Afan? Afan is half. What is the half? A half knowledge. There is one knowledge which you will see during the broad daylight, then there is that other knowledge which you have to find in the darkness. And the two coming together makes the philosophical consciousness of the people to brighten. We must know ourselves. We must know ourselves by knowing what is in the daylight and what is in the darkness. And that explains Afan.
And I will not cut you, but I mean, some few years, maybe 2 or 3, the Pope, if not Benedict, or maybe, went to Dahomey. At Dahomey.
Yeah.
To do what?
He acknowledges.
And visited, I saw him, I saw a picture, he's shaking the Vodu priest.
He admits that the energy, the power, the consciousness are all with us. So when you go to Vida, Vida is supposed to be a French word. What is the meaning? We.
We.
Means yes.
Yes.
Da.
Snake.
The snake. And you go to Vida.
Yeah.
Today. Today. You go to the Vodu shrine. Opposite the shrine, you have the Roman Catholic Cathedral. So when the Pope arrived, he was expected to enter into the cathedral. But he knows that the energy is not in that building. The energy is in the shrine of the Vodu. So he had to go there and pay obeisance to the high priest of Vodu. The buildings are still there today. The Catholic cathedral is here, the Vodu shrine is here. And they know, and all of them know, that the energy is here, not here. But they have to put up huge structures to confuse our people, to let our people believe that, yes, there is a God staying in the room. And you see, in furtherance of that misconception, what do? They tell you that Jesus, you will see some fake image of some so-called Jesus, that Jesus died for your sins. But did that Jesus know you?
No.
He doesn't know you. And when that Jesus, they claim, was the son, the only begotten son of the Father. When he went into the temple of Lalibela, what did he see? He saw that the diviners were there. The diviners will divine for you what you must do the next time round. So having done that one, if you haven't got the money to buy the animals that is needed for your sacrifice, there are others there selling the animals and everything that you need. Like you go to some of our shrines and they do it for you. They sacrifice the animal. What do they do next? They cook it. You all enjoy. The gemplan.
Original.
Yes, so you enjoy that one. And in the temples of Lalibela, you have the same practice going on. And Horus.
Oh, so it was done in Lalibela before. Until they just
when they
Christianize it.
They claimed that that was devilish.
Uh-huh.
And then they put the story of Jesus as having gone there to drive away
the people
those
selling doves and all those things.
Gambling in the Father's house. What do you see in our churches today? Are they not gambling?
They are.
They are doing worse things than that.
And nobody ship them.
Why do you claim that the master went in there? And Horus knew the relevance. And they all do admit, if you want to become a Roman Catholic father, and you don't go through the process of learning divination, then you are not equal to the task.
Really?
Yes, you must know it. And you must practice it. You must graduate in it, so that when you get to the pulpit, you can use that third eye to see what the problem of your client is.
That is why UNESCO has accepted it.
Yes. Everybody is accepting, except portion of the African.
Our own people.
Our own people think that it is devilish. But yes, why? Because Robert Nesta Marley advised them to emancipate themselves from mental slavery. And they are not prepared for it. They are not prepared to be freed mentally. They are prepared to suffer. And you see that there was the guy who came to this country just recently, calling himself Prince Charles, the Prince of Wales, supposed to be becoming the next king of England. Why did he have to recall that there was this good relationship between our country and England, those who enslaved us? And when they were enslaving us, what did they tell us? The ship which carried most of our ancestors, you know the name?
The good ship, Jesus.
Jesus. And what was the meaning? Why did they compose a song? When they are carrying slaves, then they are telling the slaves how sweet the name of Jesus sounds in the believers' ears. And that is supposed to be part of the Methodist hymn book, one of the important aspects of Methodism. They sing it. You know how to sing it? How sweet the name of Jesus sounds in a believer's ears.
What the hell?
How sweet can the enslaver be?
Wow.
How sweet can that ship which has taken you away from your land be? And we have people who are singing that one with all the joy.
Today.
They are still.
They are in the ship.
Because their minds have all been engulfed in the mental slavery, to the extent that they cannot understand themselves. I think the other time we discussed about our culture.
Yeah.
Yes, one dangerous aspect our culture has suffered is that we are speaking someone else's language, ostensibly to educate ourselves. They ensured that we lose our languages. And our brothers and sisters who were taken into slavery, you cannot even communicate in any language again.
Unless you speak
apart
English.
from the white man's language. But where did the white man get his language from? He mixed up our languages. Afa is what? A home.
Afa. Home.
Fa. ISIS. Now it has become what? Paris.
Paris.
Paris. They turned it to Paris. ISIS home. Now they tell you Yeshua or Jesus Christ. Isn't it Jesus Christ? Belong to a group, a clan called Essenes. What is Essenes?
Essene.
Essene. What's the meaning of Essene? The divine hearing.
Hearing.
Makesene, Mawesene. Now the French people say that no, Essenes are actually French people.
Okay.
When you go to a
Continue.
When you go to funeral grounds, we have something they call canopy. Where from that canopy?
Yeah.
Last time when we were having the discussion, we talked about car.
Yeah.
And we agreed that car was the alter ego, the other self.
Yeah.
So when there is going to be mummification, those portions which can decay are taken and kept in a jar. And the jar contains the car. So we are told that canopy, yes, the cover of the car, to protect the car from this disintegration, decaying. Now when you don't want the sun to hit your head or the rain to beat you when you are at a funeral, you cover yourself
with the canopy.
Canopy. And they made it canopy. When you're traveling across the lower Volta Bridge, you are entering into a place called what? Sogakope.
Yeah.
So is the thunder.
Thunder.
Ga is big.
Big.
Kope is what?
Village.
The village. So the thunder, the big thunder's village.
Wow.
Before you get to the big thunder's village, on this side of the river, you get what? So.
Yes.
The thunder stone is on this side. Then on the other side is the big thunder's village.
Wow.
Now it's no longer a stone, but that one is
It's a village.
And how do the white people come to write our Sogakope? They write it Sogakope. They use P. And instead of the which
they don't have in their
alphabet, they use the P, so it becomes
Sogakope. Just like our flower.
Then you go a little from Sogakope, you cross a river. That river is supposed to be the Red River. And how do they call it? They will write there River Toji. But river is To in the Ewe language. G is red. So you are saying red river.
Nonsense.
Red river.
Doesn't make sense.
It doesn't make sense. But that is what we have studied.
Just like mountain Afajato.
Ato is a hill.
It's a hill.
So it should be Afaja. If you want to say, use your English, then Mount Afaja. You don't say Mount Afaja.
To again.
The To is the mountain. So mountain Afaja. And we have all these things repeating themselves. And we have an educational system which ensures that we are perpetually being miseducated. And we have professors, doctors, who perpetuate this miseducational process.
Yeah. Coons.
What do we have today? I think that today is the 9th or the 10th. 9th. Yesterday, the gold or the green children have gone home.
Double track system.
Double track. And the children are going home. I don't pity them because the situation in which we are perpetually being miseducated. And once we are accepting the miseducation, anybody who wants to perpetuate the miseducation or destroy it altogether, that is his cup of tea. And they are doing these ones because they don't want us to be equal to them. To use the local knowledge we have to overturn the misconceived doctrines that they are perpetuating. So they are continuing. They are continuing to tell us that we don't know anything. They are telling us that we must forget about what we know and still follow what they are telling us. Are you surprised that Prince Charles can come here with his girlfriend who enjoyed the murder of his wife?
With his girlfriend?
Yes, Pamela was the girlfriend once he was married to Lady Diana. You are not aware?
I'm not. I don't follow these people.
It is telling you that they don't have a culture. They don't have shame.
Bloody people.
And they had to make sure that Lady Diana was killed. We found the boyfriend for whom she was going to give birth to a child. They must kill her.
And it must be an African blood.
They don't want that one. So this is the crisis of society. Let us come through the Vodu thing and enter into the crisis this country is facing. The crisis of creating of new regions. Why has there been so much
interest?
Disturbances in the creation of regions. The Constitution had a specific clauses on how to go about creating regions. But this government does not want to go by the constitutional provision. Yesterday, minority members of parliament had to be demanding that let us see the findings of the Justice Brobe Committee. We will come to the judiciary in a minute. Is that bad when you set up a commission with the taxpayers' money and you keep the report of the commission secret? You can't keep it secret. You are going to create new entities. And you set up a commission to investigate whether the people want the new entities or not. Then you say, no, I will not show you what was brought. But then you are going to put a constitutional instrument through parliament so that you legalize an illegality. And what the danger we are seeing today is that this government is gradually leading this country along the path which Rwanda took and created the mayhem. But our situation is more terrible Why? Because 2,000 years ago, the sages of the Nile Valley said, those people who inherited that system of knowledge and consciousness, they will rise again. And all those wise who created the United Nations, the League of Nations, and all this, have realized that the time is up. The people must rise again. And for the people, to prevent the people from rising again, the whole world is ganged up to prevent that one. So we had Prince Charles coming, and coming to recount the good relations between them, the English, and the petty bourgeois elements in the then Gold Coast and now Ghana.
You said it last week, yes, before he came. Yes. You said it, that they armed them.
They are arming. Professor Akosua Pebi had written that the British deliberately armed them, that they must suppress all others. And I did say that the slave coast existed. For what reason? For the reason that we must break down the resistance of the people. We must make them perpetually enslaved. They must not think independently of us. So they told us that the English empire shall never fall. So now we come to the judiciary. Have you heard of the Turin Judicial Papyrus?
You mentioned last week.
Yes, Turin Judicial Papyrus. Papyrus, as I've made you understand, came from the Kɛmɛ and the Southern Valley. That's where you can get it growing. So after having written all their judicial stories, then these people come and collect them and take them to their country and call it the Turin Judicial Papyrus, and claiming that their judicial system came from there, from Turin. The shroud which was used in cleaning the face of Yeshua ben Yosef, or whatever you decide to call him, is supposed to be the Turin shroud. But they themselves do admit that Jesus, the Christ, or whatever they call him, never lived in Turin. Turin is in northern Italy. So how did the shroud go there? There is the Turin sex papyrus, where you go around those places. Even the former Prime Minister, Berlusconi, was he not caught having sexual affair with that small girl? But what happened to him? He is a man who lives above the laws. If it were to be someone else, they would have found some reason. So the justice system we are having, justice. What's justice? What's the meaning? What's the origin?
My aunt.
Justice comes from the name of Justinian. It was Justinian who ordered people to transcribe the Turin Judicial Papyrus for him. And he put his name on it. And it becomes the Justinian Codex. And they have written their laws. And you will see our laws are intertwined with Latin words.
Yes. All the lawyers are speaking Latin.
They will speak Latin. Just like the Roman Catholic fathers will be speaking Latin, Dominus Vobiscum et cum spiritutus. Why? Why are we doing this to ourselves?
Veritas
Why are we not getting to realize that we are being misdirected? We are being confused. We are not being allowed to know ourselves. We glorify what others tell us.
We are going to build cathedral.
A national cathedral. To achieve what? To achieve our perpetual mental enslavement.
Yesterday I was watching Good Evening Ghana, and this lawyer Moses
Boadi.
was saying it is good to build a cathedral because when the president dies, then they can lay them there. How?
I see. When the
And
president
he was
died,
defending and saying the matter is in court and they are going to win it hands down. Can you imagine? I respect that man so much. But yesterday,
emancipate yourself from mental slavery. Has he emancipated himself?
I don't think so.
Maybe you didn't hear him well. Let's assume that he was talking something else. He could not have been saying what you are claiming he said.
He said that.
Because it will be a tragedy.
He said they are going to win the court.
No, but why can't they, how can they win the court case?
And they are in
It
power.
is their court.
With their court, yeah.
The justice system is that of the white man. So the white man will always win cases in his own court. You can't have a cockroach winning case in a court presided over by fowls.
No way.
The fowl must definitely win. You see a lion fighting with not even a reindeer, antelope. Then the antelope will win the case against the lion.
No.
Then what do you expect? What will you expect the lion to feed on? It must feed on the antelope. So, when you take your case to their court, don't expect to win. But when you take your case to Nogokpo,
One time.
then let them come. Then they will see who is telling the truth. But in their own court, where you will have to go and speak their languages, you cannot win any case. So anybody who has become a puppet to the white power structure must never expect to win any case.
You made mention of Nogokpo.
Yes.
Unfortunately, these days, the youngsters, the singers, the artists, the confused musicians of this nation, the rappers, and so on, when they are singing, they like to rhyme a lot. And they use Nogokpo in their rhyming. Some say, you can't take me to Nogokpo, you can't kill me. I just heard a latest one from an artist that I respected so much, but I didn't know that he was so dumb like that. Trigmatic, saying about, condemning ancestral, worship and talking about, Jesus and, it's so much. Everybody's talking about Nogokpo. Where is Nogokpo and what is there? And why are people afraid of Nogokpo and say negative things about Nogokpo?
When you are from here going eastwards, we have talked about Sokpa.
Sokpa?
We have talked about Sogakofa.
Yeah.
We have talked about
Toji.
Toji.
Yeah.
So it's leading you gradually to reach that settlement called Nogokpo. Nogokpo is the abode of So,
The thunder.
the thunder god. Now, So is not restricted only to Nogokpo. There are other places where you have the thunder deity. Now, when you have done anything wrong, you have stolen somebody's property, and you say, no, you are not the one, you go there. Then you go. You have all the liberty to state your case. But when you go and you decide to lie, no, the deity will deal with you. When it comes out that you are actually lying, oh, you have every right to go. You go. But the deity will take you wherever you are and exact justice on you. If you are guilty, oh, there you will see some small cloud passing. Then the bullet will come from it.
Lightning.
And if it hits you and you fall dead, nobody is to carry you. As for burial, you are out. You have been promoted from being buried. But when the thunder gives you the judgment, your family will have to find out what caused it. But most of my people, they know that when thunder strikes you, it is not an easy thing.
So they don't do evil there. They don't steal people.
If you like, go and
do it. Yeah.
And they will go and report. And like someone dies, is murdered. You don't know the one who murdered your relation. If you go and tell the police, you will learn the difference between go and come. But if you go to Nogopo and you report, the deity, they will tell you, you go, we will find the one. And they will find the one.
So many cases been, unsolved. So many.
Yes, as for the police.
Police.
Why,
and I don't know why people still believe in them, you know?
You don't know why? You must know why. Because we have been given an educational system which ensures that we are perpetually miseducated.
No.
We will have to go to school. In the school, every morning we will have to have morning devotion.
Oh.
And we will be singing praises to some white man. And you graduate from all that one to believe that anything that the white man says is good. Anything that your ancestors say is bad.
Can you imagine?
So, with that one, when you grow up, what do? You go to a university to be perpetually miseducated. You will be taught about Archimedes' principle. You will be taught about Pythagorean theorem. You will be taught about all the philosophies which our ancestors developed, but has been credited to others.
Hypocrite, the father of medicine.
Yes. All these ones.
When Imhotep is the father of medicine.
Yes, we will have to find out. In fact, it is necessary that we will have to research again into the meaning of that name Imhotep. We must know what name was there. Because he says his father's name is Kanofe. If the father's name is Kanofe, what was his name? That we are being told is Imhotep. Which language was that?
Which language? They say Meduneta.
Meduneta. So let us find out. What is that language called Meduneta?
Divine speech.
Divine speech. Who determined that this speech is divine speech? We as black people who aspire to get onto the track of the ancients must reinvestigate what has been presented to us. It is not sufficient for us to say Meduneta, hieroglyphs, hieratic, demotic writing. No. What was the language? We have been told that the original language of the world is missing. When is missing, where is it?
Where is it?
The Septuagint, who were supposed to have transcribed the hieroglyphs or the Hebrew Torah, what was the language of the Torah? Which language did they transcribe? If the original language of the world is missing, how did it get missing? We have been taught to believe that there was an attempt to build a temple to reach God, the Creator, in the higher heavens.
The Tower of Babel.
The Tower of Babel, which even the Catholics themselves now admit that they cannot trace. So where was that tower which was being built to go and reach God? Is God now a physical being? God, the creator of the universe, is a spirit. And the Pharaoh, one of the Pharaohs says, the creator is the spirit of all spirits, the father of all fathers. the creator of everything. So, for somebody to come around and say his Bible says that God is a man, so we have God the Father, God the Son, and God the Holy Spirit, that person must be joking. It is only a woman who gives birth to a child. No man. So when you are talking of the Father, the Son, and the Holy Spirit, where is the role of the woman? You must know where the woman is. Is the woman. The woman. The woman. The woman.
When I went to Rwanda, they call a young woman Dada. I was shocked, Dada. And ever to the same Dada.
Then you go to South Africa. That lady which won the indoor games, the name was Semenya.
Hey.
They will decide to call it Semenya.
Semenya, yeah.
But it's Semenya.
Yeah, NYA is Nya all the time.
But in South Africa, they say it's Semenya.
Oh, which kind of Semenya?
Yes. But that is what is happening. And now that we realize the time has come for the emancipation of the people, what are we having? We are having OT.
Region.
OT region.
Nonsense.
And I asked on Facebook, I asked the Volta regional minister to explain why the core campaign team for the referendum, as far as the OT enclave is concerned, includes DCs, MCs, and MPs from that OT enclave. District chief executives, municipal chief executives are involved in campaigning for a yes vote for OT. And then you come down south, the regional minister, Dr. Lecha, says that Togi Apada has no right to demand that the referendum should follow constitutional provisions. Elizabeth Ohini also gets up to open her mouth wide to condemn Togi Apada for just calling for the correct thing to be done. We have Obed Asamoah also condemning anybody who says that no, if you want to do something which is just and legal, then go according to the Constitution. Nobody, you say that, oh, you want to create OT region, okay, go according to the Constitution. The Constitution makes a simple demand, and you don't accept that one. You want to create an OT region, bullying people. There was a young man from Peki, resident in Sogakope, was brutalized in Dambai. The latest development is that the chief of Dambai had asked all AV teachers to leave their schools.
What?
They are replacing them with his own people. And one would have expected that the Ministry for Miseducation would have taken a step in this direction to stop them. But then the Ministry of Miseducation itself is messed up in this KNUST fracas.
Yeah.
So how can he, when he has all these problems up his head, he can't look down and see that teachers are being sacked from their schools. Those who have cattle in Dambai area, Nkwanta, Krachi, they are being driven away.
I was shocked.
And we have not yet even held a referendum.
Last 2 weeks, 3 weeks, I went to Banda. And, I got there late. I got to Dambai late. Then I have to sleep at the hotel. Just a small, they call it hotel. Some small, guest house. And the man there, the manager, so-called manager there, speaks like Asante Tree very well. And I was like, how come that, he speaks Tree so, because this must be Volta region, And he said that the king in this town is an Asante man, and this town is for Asante people. I said, what? A town in Volta region.
Yes. You are lucky they didn't lynch you.
You know what? When I was in the room, 3 a.m., someone came yes, for me to wake up. I didn't. I was awake. I mean, wide. My eyes were. I did not sleep. And the person came again, 4 a.m. again, knocking. I did not wake up. Saying that the how do you call it? The planteau has arrived, and the planteau arrives only 6 a.m. You are calling me 4 a.m. to come and tell me that I should wake up.
Did you request for him to wake up?
No, I did not. But we are prepared when we are traveling, and I don't care. So I know the energies are with me, and I have no fear for any foe. So when I woke up, and the manager was just looking at me with some eye, telling me he's the one who came. I said, but 4 a.m. I cannot go to that river side to go and take planteau. You understand? So something is going on, and it's like anytime somebody want to defend the truth, they think that you are being tribalistic. I get a lot of bash. People think, you every time you are defending Ewe people, this and that.
But what do they know about the Ewe-speaking people? They don't know. They consider the Ewe-speaking people as a tribe. But that is a nation.
It's a nation.
That nation which moved from the Southern River Valley and came down this way, based on what the divination system was saying. That is why we have the Lord Gautama Buddha.
Gautama Buddha.
Gumegalamota Mabu Vodu Dan. When you are working with metal, that is Gu. So for Gu not to attack you, respect Vodu Dan. Why is it that we must allow ourselves to be misinformed? Who told the people that the Ewe-speaking people are a tribe? When you can look through the English, the German, why are they learning Ewe in Germany?
It is serious. They are learning seriously. They are speaking more than even us.
There is a German who wrote The Secret Medicine of the Pharaohs.
The Secret
Medicine of the Pharaohs.
Wow. What's his name? What's his name?
Cornelius Stetter.
Wow.
Having done all the research, he identifies, when you see the mathematics, trigonometry, geometry, and all these things were known long ago by the people of the Nile Valley or the Southern River Valley. When I went to the Pyramid of Giza, you look at the rocks, how they were laid. I have some on my PC. You will see that a very thin line merges the two rocks. And each rock is more than 10 tons. Then you ask yourself, how did these rocks get into position in a slanting formation to give us the pyramid? Can you answer that one?
I cannot.
You see, it goes like this. Rock levitation. You talk to the rocks and they move. That is why nobody has been capable of replicating the pyramids.
Like telekinesis.
You talk to the rock and it has to move. A rock with eyes will never blink their eye.
A rock with
eyes will never blink.
What is the meaning, deeper meaning? What is the meaning, the metaphysical meaning of that?
Oh, the metaphysical meaning simply tells you that something that you have not seen, don't claim to have seen it.
Okay. Okay.
You haven't seen it. There are people who will go and swear by anything that, in fact, I was there, I saw it. You didn't see it. You might imagine that you have seen me pass, but you didn't see me. So when you are a rock, you don't blink the eye. Just keep cool. Don't try to talk about things you do not know. Now you come, and we are told in the divination system, Sauli. What is Sauli telling you? Sauli is the combination of Sauli is telling you, forget it. He will say it's your Waterloo. Sauli Eglena Oba Valafi Magayu. Sauli Eglena Magayu. Lafima Magayu. Sauli Eglena Oba Valafima Magayu. Sauli Eglena Oba Valafima Magayu. Sauli is telling you that where you want to go, there is a deep gorge there. Don't go. You will fall into a trap. If you want to travel, you have to.
Okay, we are back. Yeah, so the internet is okay now. Right. That was a beautiful song. So in Afa divination, sometimes Afa uses animals and like snakes and goats and all those things in the allegory and all those things. Why is it so? Because just like the snake talking and all those, sometimes I tell people that even Afa has animals talking also.
Yes.
But there is esoteric meaning of that.
You see.
Who is a Bemeji?
Bemeji is the first house of the Ifa or Afa divination system.
Okay.
When you go to the diviner, whatever you take to the diviner, and when the Gumaga, the chain, the 10th house of the 16 Afa houses, as far as our system is concerned here. But when you get back to the Kɛmɛ or the Southern Valley, they have they have so many. You will see that we have the 42 negative confessions. They are also reflecting the do's and don'ts of life. Afa equally tells you the do's and don'ts of life. But for very good reasons, our ancestors decided to reduce the number to 16. In here, in our side, some of our people decide to add Chetula, that's the 17th. But Chetula is already a marriage of Che and Tula. But there are 16 principal houses from Bemeji to Fumeji. So once you have the 16, when you come to marry them, you will have 256 houses. First is the 16 houses, then 16 multiplied by 16 is giving you 256. And 256, you will see how the strokes have been made. And we had these Romans coming to say that those are Roman numbers.
Liars, thieves.
The things were there before you came. How could you have invented it when you don't even understand what they stood for? So Bemeji, you have the single strokes will come 4 on this side, 4 on that side. When you go to Yekumeji, you have 2, 2, 2, 2 on one side, 2, 2, 2, 2 on the other side. After this Bemeji and Yekumeji, from the third going, then they start mixing. 1, 2, 2, 1, 1, 2, 2, 1, 2, 2, 1, 1, 1, 2, 2, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 1, 2. It continues like that till you reach the Fumeji, the 16 which makes you the 256 houses. And that is what you use to interpret the science of life. You must understand that the science are such that they don't make mistake. And when one divination house comes, it has about 7 interpretations. So whatever comes, there are people who say that Ifan has not told them the truth, but it lies on the vibration which manifests at that point in time. And that vibration tells you something. The one doing the vibration, depending upon the divination, depending upon the vibration of the consulting person at the time, he might give one interpretation which might be taken to be wrong, but it's not wrong. There are other aspects of it. If you take it easy and you give the correct information, Ifa will tell you the truth. But if you give the wrong information, you will get the wrong fact. But Ifa can tell you the truth and you will say, no, Ifa had lied to you. Ifa does not lie. If there is any lie, it is you who didn't tell the truth. So when they do the divination, they tell you, this thing you are doing, it will bring problems. So please, as far as the divination is concerned, don't do this, do that. Don't eat meat at this time. Don't have any affair with any woman at this time. That woman you have seen and you love her so much, no, her vibration is not good. Afa is saying that that is not your partner, so don't go there. But if you say that Afa is preventing you from enjoying yourself, you go there, you will hit your head against the wall. And it is not Afa which has misinformed you. You have refused to listen. And once you refuse to listen and you fall into a problem, that is your cup of tea.
So it is very important that we check our partners, with Afa before.
Yes, that is the most important thing. You are told the divine, the supreme creator has chosen a partner for you. And that's why Afa is half knowledge. You know that which is bright in the daylight, but the one in the darkness you don't know, so you have to consult. The supreme creator had given you partner, but you have to find out, is that the partner given to you? Afa can tell you. Afa will tell you all that which is hidden, how that person is going to behave towards you, what you must do if you want to move forward. If you don't listen to it and you go, then the Sauli comes in, telling you that there is a gouge there, there is a hole there, don't go. There is something negative up front, don't pursue that path. But if you say you are going to do it, Afa will not stop you. You will go and you will hit your head against the wall. Then you will come back.
That's true. Let's say a man or a woman who is single desires, a partner to stay with.
Yeah.
Is there a way, in Afa that you can, a formula that you can do or a sacrifice you can do for the partner to come?
Afa will tell you. You put the Afa down, the Afa will tell you,
Okay.
this way is good for you, that way is bad for you.
The woman will come from west or east?
East or anything.
Good.
The Afa will tell you. And if you listen to the Afa and you go according to the dictates, you will have your partner. But if you think you know better, the Afa tells you, you say, no, this one, I don't agree. I will do my own. Okay.
I have someone with big back.
You are going into trouble. You are cutting trouble for yourself, not Afa. Afa will tell you, maybe the partner you want you think is the best. Afa will say, no, that is not the best for you. So please, take it easy. Wait. You will get your partner. But if you are in so much hurry, you won't listen. Afa cannot prevent you. When you go and hit your head against the wall, you will come back. Afa will tell you everything you need to know.
Definitely.
The truth is with Afa. Once you can see some in the daytime, Afa will tell you what is in the darkness.
True.
So you go and know what is in the darkness. And the door is open. Just like you go to Teshi there, what do you have? You have the next door. When one door is open, the next door is closed. When one door is closed, the next one is open. So always make sure that you do what is right.
How often do you have to check for Afa, to see if everything is all right in your house? How often?
As far as you have disputes or mental disturbances, consult Afa. So long as there is something you do not understand, you do not know your way clear, consult Afa. Afa will tell you. You can consult Afa every minute of every day. Afa will tell you what you want to know. Afa's consultation is so liberal. It can be telling you as the minutes go by. But if you say no, you will go on your own, Afa will not hold you back. But when you go and meet the trouble, that is your own creation. But it is very, very advisable that you always consult Afa. The Egyptian book of the beginning tells you that the Pharaoh says the Creator is the spirit of all spirits. And if Afa is a system of spiritual knowledge, then go through that way. And you will get the resolution of your problem.
What is in that book?
That book tells us how we started life. The creation of life.
I see a lot of spells in that book.
Yes, the spells are there.
But the formula has been taken out.
Yes, it must be taken out. Just like we have the Bible now, containing just a small portion of what is the truth. When you have not reached the stage to know the truth, it will not be given to you. The spells have been removed, but we can go and look out for those spells. Like there is this aspect of opening of the mouth. How do you open the mouth of a dead person?
The chapter of opening the mouth.
Yes. How can you open the mouth of a dead person? You can open that mouth through the recitation of the ancient knowledge system. You are sitting. You have the physical body. Then you have the spiritual body. When this spiritual body leaves the physical body, what do they say? They say you are dead.
Yes.
But then when you are supposed to be dead, you can still call that spirit which had left the body. And it will come. And the spirit will talk to you. That this, that is what has happened to me. There is the possibility that you can order that spirit back into that body. You have that power. But you don't have to use that power recklessly.
I learned there's a place in Volta region like that where they call the dead body to even sit down and ask him questions. What happened and everything. Then he will talk. People will come and listen. Then after, then they depart the spirit back. before then they bury the body. Is it true?
Not only in the Volta region. When you were entering the house, you might have seen a poster on the pillar, when entering on the left pillar, a young man's poster pasted there. This young man fell indisposed, complained of the head. Then he was rushed to the hospital around late afternoon. The following morning, which was a Tuesday morning, the 16th, this young man had passed on, gone to the beyond. Oh, in most cases, when a person passes on in very strange circumstances, you are under obligation to find out what happened. You find that one out by calling the spirit to come and tell you what is it which drove you out from your body. In fact, it is life is the marriage of the physical and the spiritual.
Life is the marriage of the physical and the spiritual.
So when you have an affair with a woman, it is only when that spiritual aspect of life comes in, then the woman is supposed to have taken seed. Which seed? The spiritual seed, which results in the birth of a child. When that spirit leaves that body, then you say that body has become what? Lifeless, is dead. Now, with that spirit having left the body, you have the capability of calling that spirit to come back and tell you what happened. And that spirit will tell you, provided you are in the correct elements, you will hear. You can be going and you will meet that departed spirit taking on about the same body. You will meet the person. That it happens mostly when you have not heard that that person has passed on. You will meet the person somewhere else, walking. The person will pass by you and be gone before you will hear the message that this person had passed on. You have experienced that one before?
Yes.
There is a town in eastern region called Samai Kesia. What is Samai? Samai is supposed to be a ghost or a spirit.
Yeah, spirit.
And a big spirit.
Big spirit town.
So it leaves the body and moves around and manifests elsewhere. So there is this case of the woman who passed on in Chama, was buried, the tomb is there, everything. This woman resurfaces in Nigeria and marries there, and they had 2 children. They came from Nigeria and resettled in Kumasi for some time, and the husband was telling the woman, I want to know your family. Was insisting, and this woman takes him and the 2 children to Chama. Then they have reached the Chama, final stop. They are going to the house. Then the woman tells the husband that, oh, that's my house. Just give me 1 minute. Be going to the house. I'm going to say hello to a friend here and come. You enter the house. My mother is there. Her name is this, that. Greet her. Sit down. I will be with you. Then they go. The man and the 2 children and the luggage, they go and enter into the house. They are welcome. They are given a seat. They are given water. They drank and all these things. Say, yes, may we know who you are. He said, oh, Asimasi is my wife. I came with her. And these are our children. She says she is saying hi to somebody here. We will be back in a minute. So she said I should take the lead with the child. And the mother-in-law, being a spiritualist, and and conscious of what has happened, or received them so well, and said, don't worry, she will be with us. Then they organized food. The man and the 2 children ate. He doesn't know the town, so he cannot get up and say he is going to the house where the wife had gone to. But the mother knows what has happened. So the mother sends for elders. They prepare a room for the man and the children and said, oh, your wife, that's how she is. Well, she will go to the friend, she will not come quick. So let's take it easy. You can go and relax and be chatting with your children. I will get someone sent for her. Then the elders come and they sit down and they do their tete-a-tete. Say, how do we communicate with this man? Tell him what has happened. And it is night, the man and the children have gone to sleep, and the family had debated this issue extensively. So in the morning, they called this man. And they said, we have to tell you. Come. You brought this picture and you brought this name. Fine. Come, let's go. They took him to the cemetery where the wife was buried. And he was taken apart. So he had married a ghost. What else can they do? So when he got back to the house, he said he was just coming. And that's the end.
She didn't come again.
Until the mother-in-law also passed on. But the ghost led him because he wanted to know. If he were not to have been insistent that he wants to know the
family
in-law, he would have lived with his wife perfectly in their new creation relationship. But he was still insisting that he wants to know. So he got to know that he had married a ghost. But whatever happened to him thereafter, I cannot tell. But that is life. The alter ego, the car, can leave a body anytime. I attended training in Winnipeg sometime. We went to the commander's house. You have to be going to his house to be cleaning the place for him. Then we go to the house. Then there is the commander dressed up in his uniform, standing. He was not blinking the eye or anything. What has he done? He had moved out of the body and he had gone elsewhere. And my colleagues with whom we went there were calling, oh sir, we have come. I said, keep quiet, let's leave the room. I said, why? I said, he is not there. It is only his physical body which is here. He has gone on the soul travel. He will come. But make sure we leave this place before he comes. If we are here, he cannot pass through us and go into the room. And it means you have killed him. Let's leave him. We left. Daytime he comes to the place and says that, I don't want to see these people in my house again. He told his deputy to ensure that those who were detailed to his house that morning, never should they come there again. Because we have seen him. We've seen what he does. And most people do that one. Most people, they will go on soul travel. But immediately you interfere with the movement of their soul or their spirit, you have killed them. They cannot enter into the body again. And that is their end. So you must know yourself.
Why is it important for the pharaohs to practice mummification, if that is the correct word? Why is it that
to be mummified?
Yeah.
Because they will go to the next world fully without any deformation of the physical body. It must be in complete touch, so that the spirit will come in and he will continue life thereafter. The Pharaoh must be a complete human being. He will work. He will rule. He will do everything that is expected of him. When he is mummified, nothing had gone wrong with him. So in the canopic jar too, you have all the places which are there, which must go back into the body. And so when the Pharaoh has been mummified and is being laid to rest in the sarcophagus, the canopic jar is put there. You hear the story of Anansi. Anansi, what does Anansi do? Anansi is buried. And he is buried with his cooking pot and everything. And he wakes up to cook. And he will eat. Then, what's the name of that his notorious son? Antikuma or something. He comes to see that, why this our dad was buried with all these things. And every time we come to the farm, things are disappearing. The food is getting finished on the farm. Then they make the idol. Then Anansi wakes up again and comes. That is supposed to be a fable. But Anansi comes and sees that, there is this robot here guarding his farm. So, who are you? No response. Who are you? No response. If you don't talk, I will slap you. No response. So my right arm is very dangerous. If I slap you, you will get ailment. No response. Then he slaps. The right arm remains. He slaps with the left one. It remains. He kicks. The leg remains. He kicks the second one. The leg remains. He says, my head is dangerous. My stomach is... Then he gets stuck. Then the children come to find him. So that is life. You leave the body, you go and roam, you come back to your body. But when coming, and there is something which crosses your path, avoid it. You can go again and go and stay somewhere. So there are situations when they claim that, this guy, he was all right, this, that, and he has just passed on. And he was kept somewhere, and after some hours, he wakes up. Because the obstacle which is blocking his way has left the scene. So he can come back and enter into the body. And so he slept. He overslept. And he is up. So that is the secret of life.
That is very, very, very...
We are told that when you passed on, 40 days you are roaming. You are roaming. If there is no obstacle to prevent you from re-entering into the vessel, then you will re-enter it. But if there is an obstacle, you can roam, and let that obstacle go. And you see in the ancient times, what do? When the person is supposed to have passed on, the body is kept somewhere.
That was
in
about...
the belief that it will return, that spirit will return into the body. So most of the times, when today we have these things called morgue.
I was about to
You carry the person, you dump into the morgue, you shut it up.
Coastal.
There are people who will be banging on the entrance to the morgue. They want to come out.
I hear that from the watchmen.
Yes. Because the spirit is not gone anywhere. The spirit comes back to enter the body, and you have kept the body in a cool place. And the spirit can pass through anything and enter. And once it has entered, it resurrects the body. And the body must react to the resurrection, and you have to open the door. And when the door is not being opened, you will bang on it. There are those ones which, when they are banging, you don't hear. He will come out of the body again and come out and create some scene for you to go and open. Immediately you open it slightly, it gets into the body, and then you see the body shaking, this, that. Some of the keepers will bang, they will hit that body to die.
To die, kill you.
Kill you. But those who are charitable will bring you out. They say he died 3 days, he got up. It's happening. But this morgue thing you people have created, like the Maritime Authority boss who has created a morgue in his house with
11 air conditioning.
The air conditioners will send him where he wants to go.
Amen.
Amen.
Today it has been full package. Every topic, mixed within.
Yes.
Like Jenkple. Hey, that food.
Yes.
Why is it only in Volta region that is found? What is so special about that food? Because everybody loves to eat, even the pastors. They all go and eat it during festival.
Why? A wokla? Where else do you cook a wokla?
I mean, Volta.
No. Apart from Volta, where else do you cook a wokla?
In terms of location?
Yes.
In the north, they also like it.
Not the Volta wokla.
Not exactly like that. Yeah.
The wokla and abobitadi.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
So every group of people have their food specialty.
Yeah.
Among the accounts, we have what? Fufu.
Yeah. And
Among the Adangbes or Adan people, you have Gigi.
Yeah. Kokonte.
Kokonte, face the wall.
Yeah.
So all group of people have their special food they eat.
That's so good.
But Jenkpla is basically a food for the shrines. The shrine.
Yeah.
That's where you have the Jenkpla prepared and consumed. There are families who would like at a point in time to cook Jenkpla just for some festive occasion. But more often than not, Jenkpla
is for the shrine.
Is for the shrine.
For the spirits, they love that combination.
They love it. So when you want to know yourself, eat Jenkpla.
Jenkpla.
Yes. It is beautiful, it is sweet, it is nice. It takes you back to Kɛmɛ.
Before we started the video, the live thing, you were telling me something in your studio about the origin of the word Jesus. That JC, that it is salt.
Yes, salt water.
Salt water.
Yes. When you go into the Alpha divination system, you will get to realize that there was a pool of water. The birds will come, they will drink the water, they will ease themselves into the water, then people will come and fetch that water, wash, and pour the soapy water still back into that one. Some will come and drink the water. And then that pool of water went to the diviner, Boko. So what can I do to prevent these people from misusing me? The Boko said, okay, I will do something for you. Get me some salt. I will help you. So when the salt was brought, the diviner did the divination on the salt and gave it to the water to drink. So when the water drank the salt, it became salty. When a bird comes and dives to put his beak into the water, he feels that, this is salty, then he spits it. When animals come and put their mouth into the water to drink it, it's salty. Then they spit it and go. People get to the water bank and they want to wash their things and they see that it's no longer soapy. It's just wasting their soap. They also abandon it. So it became salt water.
Ejeshi.
So, who was it which went? Echi, water, went and acquired the salt. So it became Jeshi. Which became, they say, is Jesus. So that's how the sea became salty. But interestingly, the salty water of the sea, when it permeates through the sand will remove some of the salt. So just around the Anyangwi side there, you go a little from the coast, there is some small lagoon there, you have soft water. You will see people are farming along that stretch.
Yes.
Now when you enter the Volta estuary, you will come a little distance. Then around Anyangwi bank there, it is difficult for you to see that this is where the salty water ends and this is where the soft water starts. There is no defined boundary. You put your hand into the water here and taste, and it's salty. You shift the next 1 foot, you put your hand there, it will be soft. And that is part of the mystery of life. But Jeshi has, according to Professor Donani, been transformed into the name Jesus. And so many people don't understand Jesus because we all say that J does not exist in the alphabet, but DZE exists. DZE.
That is why this church from Nigeria, Celestial Church, they do everything with salt. Everything with salt.
Without salt,
you are
a nobody. So when you are in any difficulty, consult Afa. Afa will tell you the way out. Don't assume that you know everything. No. When you make such an assumption, you will always land yourself into problems. That explains Jeshi.
Okay.
Then we have the French people. They will talk about Jeshi or Jesus, Yesu, Jesus, belonging to what? The Essenes grouping. What is the meaning of Essenes? It's Essene. Then the question is, Makaesene, Mawesene. Mau. You go back into the book of the beginning, otherwise known as the Egyptian Book of the Dead, and you will find on some of the pages the manifestation of Mau. Having found that one, then you have the divine hearer.
Selassie.
Haile Selassie.
Haile
Selassie. It was the community
who
chose or installed him. He used to be Ras Tafari. And when the community caught him and said, "No, you will be our king," the community installed him as Haile Selassie the First, the conquering lion of Judah.
That's right. As you are explaining,
yes,
you know, I'm sitting here, we are giving me info and all those things,
okay.
Talking about the salt.
Yeah.
So, you see, Ayevu, they are very, very wise, in a way, crafty. If they tell you about the salt and the water, you know yourself.
Yeah.
But they always want to personify things, bring images, so that directly, we start to worship them. What I'm saying is that just right now, as you are talking, I am also communicating, and the Spirit is telling me that the image of the Mary and Jesus is water and salt.
Yes.
Mary being the water and Jesus being the salt. Isis Horus or Aset Heru. So anytime you see Aset and the baby Heru, you have seen the water and the salt. Because Mary comes from Ma, which means water. Thank you very much.
Thank you for thanking me.
Thank you very much.
I believe
And
that we'll have an opportunity
yes,
to share
yes,
more ideas.
yes,
But it is important
yes,
for the viewers to know themselves.
themselves. That's all.
If you don't know yourself, you will be taken for a ride.
Oh,
Because failure to know oneself is the key to negativity, to backwardness. And it is unfortunate, to round up, it is unfortunate that those who are supposed to be our leaders don't know the danger into which they are pushing this country with this reckless regionalization, creation of regions. It is a sad thing. Ghana had been the citadel of peace, but we are destroying that peace. We have destroyed the peace of the Kwame Nkrumah University of Science and Technology. We are trying to destroy everything, and we get dancing with the Prince of Wales. Let us take this opportunity to draw the attention of the one who's supposed to be the primus inter pares, the president of Ghana, to realize that the path on which he is leading this country is a path of doom.
sure.
He must call his regional ministers, his appointees to order. And he must realize that he is not the sole custodian of knowledge. He must not try to force the creation of regions. And the creation of regions is a recipe for tribalization of this country, and the country will be torn along tribal lines. And like Professor Binka wrote, his epitaph will read, "Herein lies the most tribalist president Ghana has come across." If he wants that title for himself, he must take it alone and save the generations yet unborn from the calamity into which he is plunging this country. The Osadifo had done his part. Everybody has done his part. If the people who are supposed to be in the so-called OT enclave are putting pressure on him, he must realize that he is not the first person they have made these claims. And he must realize that J.K. Mensah, when he was addressing the United Nations Trusteeship Commission, did spell out where the people in OT enclave came from. If he hasn't seen that document, I have a copy. The UN has a copy. And if we look at the UN copy, then we will ask, why did the Indian representative call on J.K. Mensah from the Buenkrachi District Council to come and make a presentation after the Trusteeship Commission had closed its case? Reverend Amato and co, they have made their submissions, and the resolution had been passed and approved. Why did India do that? India did that because Britain had gone into alliance with people who are against the resurrection of the evil-speaking peoples of the world. So he must realize. And that Krachi king or Jessica chief calling himself Nana Pinkam III, who claimed he was telling us the truth. The Volta region is not seeking secession because there is no document about the unification of Western Togoland and Gold Coast. I will repeat that there was a slave coast. Slave coast created by the actions of Pope Nicholas V, who authorized King, what's the name of this Portuguese king? Who was authorized to enslave people who were not Christians. Why, is it compulsory that everybody should be a Christian?
No.
Then why did you come? He created this grain coast, which is Liberia, thereabouts. Then from the grain coast, you come to the Ivory Coast. Then from the Ivory Coast, you come to the Gold Coast. And from the Gold Coast, you get to the Slave Coast. Why should somebody come from this country and come and name us Gold Coast, Slave Coast,
Grain Coast,
Ivory Coast? You have Afghanistan, Swaziland. Why should people be coming from their places and be changing our names? Can't we have our own names? Our names define our identity. And if we allow outsiders to be giving us our names, then we are lost. And we are in custody. On that note, I'll have to thank you and your viewers for the opportunity to share my crazy ideas.
It's always humility before honor. You know, taking all this oral tradition, oral knowledge, treasure from you. And we also pray that you live longer. As long as the sun shines, you stay. Even if the body withered, the spirit must be there. We will carry you and come and dry you in the sun. Yes, like ancient times. So we give thanks for your time once again. And we'll be heading to Eastern region. And we asked, you know, the Falcon of Heru to guide, you know, to guide me home safely. But to end, I just want you to answer something. When Prince Charles came in the 70s, who was ruling?
70?
Or when he came first time, who was ruling?
If he came first time, you know that how do I put this one?
Which regime?
70s will be the same type of negative energy regime.
That's all. And
If they have come again,
when their child
is on the throne.
We finish. Thank you, viewers.
Thank you.
They should do the calculation.
Yes.
They should do the calculation. A cockroach will always give birth to cockroach. Give thanks.
You will see the dove. The dove will give birth to how many? Two. The male and the female. And they marry each other. So every time they are moving in pairs.
We give thanks. What's the meaning?
We give thanks to Almighty Jah. You see,
Mauga.
Mau kata mau. Ebe yenye mau sogbolisa. Mau kitikata. Mau adamwoto. Eye washi wafo. Enwe majodo. Maka unche majodolo. Enwe majodo. Maka unche majodo. Enwe majodolo. Maka unche majodo. Enwe majodo. Makaunche majodo. Twadi lo habuba. Yevu twadi hatwa bluba hano gawe kpawunte felo. Enwe majodo. Makaunche majodo lo. Enwe majodo. Makaunche majodo. Akpe. Ama no migi madrafo. Eye ametojo gbe mefana na gama.
Give thanks. Until such time, we shall meet again. Thank you, viewers. One love.